You've likely heard about or even seen dashboard cameras in police cars, but in Fredericksburg, those cameras are coming out of the cars and they're actually being attached to police officers, allowing them to see and potentially record anything the human eye might see.
They go exactly where the officer goes at all times.
They're the size of a cigar and attached to a shirt or sunglasses.
During any enforcement action, they are encouraged to use it.
Small cameras with a built-in mic hooked to a storage device.
The officer decides when it's appropriate to turn on the audio and visual systems.
Fredericksburg police are just starting to use these body cameras. Every officer and detective wears one, allowing them to record what they deal with every day.
It's for the officer's safety, it's for the preservation of evidence, the preservation of witness statements.
Officers don't have to tell you you're being recorded, but police insist they won't violate your privacy.
The officer is not going to record a random conversations.
Each camera system holds 10 hours of video, and every day it's downloaded to a server.
It's automatically purged from that server after 30 days, unless the officer chooses to save it. We're really hoping this is going to help us.
In Fredericksburg, Nate Eaton, 8 News.
Doctors say this virus is so powerful that alcohol-based sanitizers won't do a thing. In fact, they say don't even bother putting it on your hands. Rather, the best thing you and your kids can do is soap and water, and a lot of it, over and over and over again.
Juan, it's been almost 9 hours since this all began, but here at the Capitol, still a very active scene tonight. We're here where this all came to an end, the chase earlier this evening, and police are still on every corner all night long. Many people have been coming by to snap pictures, ask questions, all of them in shock.
Horrible that this should happen.
All evening long.
He heard shots. He told his wife to duck.
Folks near the U.S. Capitol.
Police cars, whizzing by. And
asking questions.
There's a lot of concern.
Trying to figure out one thing.
I would like to know what prompted this lady to do such a terrible thing.
Tonight, blocks surrounding the Capitol building remain wrapped in crime tape. A police helicopter hovered over the scene, and dozens of officers could be spotted everywhere.
You don't anticipate it to happen.
Sandy Weiland is visiting D.C. for a conference. She had no idea what was going on until she tried to leave her hotel.
They said we couldn't go out, and our hotel's just down the street from the Capitol. So we knew something was awry.
Many can't believe this happened here, one of the most secure places in the world.
This is probably one of the safest areas in D.C.,
Tonight, the investigation continues into what led to this, many hoping they'll learn the answer to the question on everybody's mind.
Why, yeah, nobody knows. I guess that information will come out as the hours go on.
And back out here live now, portions of the Capitol building did reopen to the public tonight. Other parts stayed closed. Now we're told that that's because of the government shutdown, not because of today's incident. All in all, tourists were hoping to get inside. Now, no idea how long officers will remain here on the scene tonight, but we will be out here live tomorrow on Good Morning Richmond to bring you any updates and any breaking developments that happen overnight. Reporting live at the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. tonight, I'm Nate Eaton, 8 News.
Been with the department for 14 years.
Every woman here.
It's not just about meeting the numbers, it's more so about relating to the public.
Is proud of where she works.
I'm actually the first woman in the history of our fire department to become an officer.
They're each members of the Richmond Fire Department, where out of over 400 employees, 36 are women.
Attention, engine 17. Difficulty breathing.
Every day, just like the guys, they suit up and respond to calls, helping you and your family.
We don't have a double standard, and we all do the same skills and abilities in order to perform that job.
It's a job traditionally held by men, and until recently, few women applied. Those who have admit there's been challenges in the past.
I've worked approximately 26 years for this department.
Battalion Chief Tina Watkins was the second woman ever hired by Richmond Fire.
The first 5 to 6 years of my career was very challenging. Dealing with a culture of men who felt that you didn't belong here, you had to really be strong.
In the early years, Watkins remembers sleeping in a room full of men and being forced into isolation. station.
I had to put a partition around my bed, which I protested was unsafe because I could run into it in the middle of the night.
Things have come a long way since then, and Watkins uses her experiences to mentor and help her younger colleagues.
When you come into these organizations, you come in here with a mindset to be part of a team.
Everyone admits there's still room for growth, like equipping firehouses for both genders. Workers put in 10 24-hour shifts a month, meaning they eat, sleep, and shower here.
The newer stations are being built to where you have a lot more privacy.
Most fire stations are transitioning now from having all the firefighters sleep in one room to individual dorm rooms. Same thing with bathrooms and showers, separate rooms for firefighter privacy.
We're doing these things to ensure employee privacy in a dual gender workforce.
A workforce that continues to be more accepting of everyone.
Thank you for calling Richmond Fire Department.
Regardless of gender.
I never had brothers growing up, so I'm just the little sister, I guess, around the station.
We all bring something special when we have different experiences and backgrounds.
I tell people I'm living a dream.
Mr. Perdue was a hard-working man, raised 2 wonderful children, didn't bother nobody.
His brutal murder stunned everyone.
It was very violent.
And for nearly 3 decades, many have wondered who killed Meter Perdue.
This was one of those cases that a lot of people were going to remember because it was so violent.
It was September 20th, 1992. Perdue is taking care of his wife at their South Richmond home. She had just had a stroke and is bedridden. As both are sleeping, Mark Fife breaks a window, climbs inside, and attacks the 78-year-old grandfather.
Mr. Fife was punching Mr. Perdue violently, trying to get him to tell them where money was. He was trying to protect his wife, trying to protect his home. But unfortunately, he was 78 years old.
Fife grabs a bathrobe, strangles Perdue, cuts the phone lines, and leaves the house.
The next day, his daughter actually found his remains.
Investigators begin searching for the killer and discover a cigarette butt and spots of blood in the home.
Came back from the utility room curtain as well as the utility room door jamb and window frame.
At the time, DNA testing was rare and unreliable. The case quickly turned cold until now.
I was looking for cases to work on because of the advancement in technology.
RPD forensic technician Kendall Barlow recently came across Perdue's file. Inside, a protective bag holding the utility room curtain with the blood spot. Barlow sent it to the lab and a match was found. Mark Fife.
I was just excited in finding out where this person was.
Fife was serving time for other crimes, and as investigators spoke with him, it wasn't long before he confessed to the killing.
He just said he didn't mean to strangle him. He just wanted him to stop fighting.
Now, after nearly 3 decades, a murder is solved and a family has some closure.
And they're truly nice people and they deserve this.
They're happy with the Richmond Police Department. They're happy that justice is served, and they hold no ill will against Mr. Fife.
8 News senior reporter Nate Eaton begins our live team coverage tonight. He is at Meadow Event Park right now with more on those victims. Nate?
Well, Ava Joy, the search has been called off tonight here around the Meadow Event Park. This as we're learning about the 3 people that were on board that hot air balloon. One, a pilot with decades of experience. The other 2, both workers for the University of Richmond women's basketball program. Both very excited to have a ride in a hot air balloon last night. These photos capture the 2 University of Richmond women's basketball staff members in the hot air balloon moments before things take a horrific turn. One of them, Natalie Lewis, who was in her 3rd year as director of operations for the team. According to a family spokeswoman, Lewis's body has not been found. Her parents, in a statement late tonight, say, "The search continues for our beloved daughter, and we remain hopeful and ask for your continued prayers." The other woman in the balloon was associate head coach Ginny Doyle, according to a family member. Ginny tweeted this photo of Lewis yesterday afternoon as the pair were getting ready for the balloon ride. Her next message, getting ready to go up. The pilot of the balloon was Dan Kirk, according to the senior pilot of Virginia Balloons. He had more than 30 years experience and, according to state police, jumped into action when the fire started.
He was doing his efforts to vent the balloon to help try to bring it down, to keep it from rising so quickly. He was trying to manage the fire, put it out as best he could.
Investigators have stopped their search tonight because of the rough terrain, but they plan to have over 100 people out tomorrow morning.
We will stay here until the third occupant is located. And of course, as we continue to hopefully find the wreckage of the basket and the balloon too.
Tonight, the FAA and NTSB are conducting their own investigations into the crash, as many across the country mourned those who were lost.
Based on the witness accounts, he made every effort to do everything he could in his power to save his passengers' lives and his own.
And those witness accounts have been very beneficial, according to police. 30 to 40 people have come forward with photos or videos of what they saw last night, that fire in the sky. Obviously, those pictures very horrifying compared to those photos taken just moments before that, when the air balloon was about to go up into the air. Reporting live tonight in Doswell, I'm Nate Eaton, 8 News.
Matt, when we joined you on Good Morning Richmond, we still had the rain, the gusty winds upwards of 60, 65 miles per hour. The rain has exited the Nags Head area along the Outer Banks. Now we're actually even getting some breaks of sunshine throughout the clouds. We still have the breeze up, though. Still seeing isolated wind gusts, 35, 40 miles per hour. Still kicking up the sand. You see the sea's still pretty rough, but big improvements from a few hours ago when we joined you earlier on. The waves were much bigger and they were much closer up here. Low tide coming up in just a little while, I believe so as well. Now, we met up with some vacationers that are visiting here to the Outer Banks for the 4th of July holiday weekend, and we got some of their Arthur afterthoughts about the storm. Here's what they had to say.
It wasn't as bad as some that I've seen, but it was a good one. It was pretty good. It actually, I thought it, I didn't think it was going to be as bad as it was, and I don't think everybody else did either.
Yeah, and he was vacationing here from Tennessee, brought his whole family, and was happy that they were able to see a hurricane. It's not so often that you get to go on vacation and see a hurricane, a Category 2 at that. But again, we have big improvements here. Things are looking uphill, as you were talking about earlier, Matt. Arthur has moved out into the open Atlantic, downgraded now, and it's not going to be a bother for us here anymore. We're going to get to salvage at least part of that 4th of July holiday weekend. It looks good for weather for fireworks here later tonight. We'll have another update for you coming up in just a little bit, but for now, we'll send it back into you guys in Richmond.
The holiday season is officially underway at midnight, let's say. And you'll likely get your share of sweet treats tomorrow and over the coming weeks.
Tonight, in an 8 News exclusive, we get unprecedented access to Central Virginia's busiest and most popular cake maker. Here's Nate Eaton.
Birthdays, weddings, parties, celebrations. Chances are you eat their cake, and this...
We are, for the most part, a scratch bakery.
...is where it comes from, the Ukrop's Bakery headquarters. Inside, 75 people buzzing around, working to get that sweet treat to your table.
We use shortening, flour, sugar, baking powder, the leavenings, whole eggs. I mean...
No pre-made mixes.
No pre-made mixes.
That's how it's been since the beginning, when Ukrop's bought Dot's Pastry Shop. It was 1976, and Dot's was Richmond's premier bakery.
Our yellow cake mix, pound cake, devil's food, things like that are still from the original Dot's Pastry Shop recipes.
Those recipes are a huge hit. Every year, over 200,000 decorated cakes are ordered from Ukrop's. Graduation is the busiest time of year, but these bakers are constantly updating the design menu.
You have to stay on top of the movies, what movies are coming out, what the kids are liking, whether it's cartoons or whatever.
Customized cakes are a hit, so are these layered cakes. Over 150,000 will be made this year, many from the new Cake of the Month menu.
A watermelon cake, we've done a cotton candy, a banana, fresh strawberry.
This month's flavor, pumpkin walnut. Just look how quick these workers assemble, frost, decorate, and package each cake. You've got 3 or 4 people working on every cake.
Yeah, potentially every cake can be touched by each person.
Another huge thing inside the Ukrop's kitchen is cupcakes. They go through about 30,000 a week. And icing these, it takes some talent. Talent I obviously don't have. Like that?
No.
And then, whoosh! No.
No.
Okay. It took you a day to learn this. I'm going to practice at home and come back. Practice is what workers need to complete UCrop's newest dessert, the specialty cake.
That is a business that a year ago we really weren't doing anything with.
But over the past few months, orders have jumped to customers requesting pink zebra cakes, ladybug cakes, and starting next week, number cakes, each one customized from 25 different colors of icing.
If you have a specialty color that you want, something that is not offered in the 25 colors, if you get us a swatch, we will match that color.
That icing is one reason people keep coming back to UCrops and why the company remains Richmond's most popular cake baker.
I challenge anyone to taste it and pick up a cake somewhere else and put it up against our buttercream icing. Ours is the best.
I know for years people have been trying to find out the secret ingredients to the UCrops icing.
They have.
Can you share it with us?
No, I cannot.
In Richmond, Nate Eaton, 8 News.
You didn't see a single icing machine at the UCrops
They
Bakery.
just go
Every single cake and cupcake by hand.
Wow, that is just remarkable. Well, I'll tell you, starting Monday, you can pick December's flavor of the month. That flavor, candy cane cake. I'm going to be there on Monday. Candy cane cake. I love candy cane. That sounds fantastic.